Timestamp January 10th, 2026. Still weird saying that out loud. It's almost noon. It's 11:50 something. We're gonna go outside. Alright, you rabble. Yeah, let me open the door. I don't actually need your help. Thank you. Run, be free. So, got a little bit done last night. Took another nap. Trying to get my sleep schedule back on track. I'm not sure how that's working exactly, but I'm, feeling good about it. Sort of. I'm gonna try and grab some papers for the burn barrel because we keep making more. Dude, go. Be free, run. More corporate emails that my dad printed from 2012, it looks like. Probably not real relevant. Notes about their dog adoption from 2010. They adopted a elderly Chihuahua named Annie. And I think when she passed, she was like 15, 16 years ago. But had like two legs that didn't work. They had to pretty much carry her everywhere. I'm certain a lot of other people would have said it is now time to put her down. My parents have always had that policy of, letting nature take its course, which is why I didn't pursue getting Trip put down, because some medical stuff from Mom from 2018. I'm sure these are just triplicate copies that seemed like a fun thing to print, because that's what we do, it would seem. But yeah, as my dad's guardian, it's still weird. I am supposed to ASMR. I am supposed to do whatever, essentially, my wards, or in this case my ward, although by the time my mom passed, I was pretty much her power of attorney, because she was being deemed as not competent cognitively, which is why they were fish people, or the fish people were evidentiary in the, maybe Marcus should call the shots right now. Okay, Tanner, whatever. I'm supposed to essentially do whatever it is. Watch out, bud. I don't want to hit you with this. And there are times I do want to hit you with that, but straight to the moon kind of thing. But I'm supposed to operate later on my body. not necessarily concerned with what Brian Boitano would do, but what would, Fred Wolfgang do? So, yeah. So that's why Trip died at home. Because, we had the 300 or what have you would have cost to have him put down, but that's against the wishes of what my mom would have wanted and my dad. So the last day or two, I was a talk Pix and I had was the last day of Trip's life was kind of a, if it were our dog, because he's obviously uncomfortable, this is what we would do. It's weird being someone's advocate, not necessarily a child's, being a child's advocate, because they've never been in a place where their judgment would be considered, sound or rational. But when you become the advocate, guardian for someone who was an adult, kind of weird way to put it, but my dad is childlike in his decision making at this point. But it's that whole, what would Fred Wolfgang have done 20 years ago? What would his stance have been on this? What would his opinion be? And that's kind of, whether I agree with it or not, my guiding light. The same reason I do the burn barrel thing. Because me, shredder. Or just, it's got your name and address on it. I can get that within 3 clicks on the internet. You're not stopping a motivated grifter. You're not. Trash bag with a bunch of food debris and some coffee grinds. You want to look through that? All right. At that point, I feel like you've earned the right to know the zip code. But both my parents were very pro burn barrel. Okay. Is it unnecessary? I think so. I already said what my goal, what my answer would be here. And in truth, my junk mail, I usually do make sure it's in an incredibly messy garbage bag. Even one with cat litter is wonderful. Because I don't know, mildly interesting paperwork, if you're willing to sift through, the stuff that Kaiser makes. Number one, just call me. I'll give you $5, man. Because clearly you got needs. You get me? But my ward, if he were able to make good decisions, would be making this decision. Got a good smolder going on. Much like Flynn Rider. You guys good? Cute little bug. Am I boring you? You're just soaking up the sunlight. Yeah. It's probably 70, low 70s. It's more typical Florida day, right? Started cleaning out. My dad had made this cage basically for gardening, trying to make it bunny proof. And we're going to be starting to get into actual gardening here in the near future. I'm not sure what those plants are. I looked up, I did a Google Lens thing on it. And it was saying something about mother of thousands, that there's not a lot going on there and they're rather invasive, intrusive. I don't know, I've never seen the damn things before. I'm going to do a little bit more homework on them, pull them if they are in fact useless, I guess. Because I think I'm going to use this area. It's interesting. We're going to start doing potatoes and sweet potatoes. I think this will be really good. My dad did do a good job of securing it. Looks like I've got a little patchwork to do here and there, which I can. I have that knowledge. Yeah. Need to bind that because that's a gap that definitely could be gotten in. But that's a solid pack of zip ties and I can draw that together. I don't want to keep it separated because stuff can get in there, but it seems like it's pretty solid throughout. Sir Scrappy is investigating it now. We opened it up yesterday and Tiny went in there with the weed whacker. Because it was pretty much up to our nips. Alright, well, be careful of the ball python over there. But I've got a bunch of potato with very prominent eyes and shooters, so I think that'll make a good potato patch. Close it up. Starting to grow our veg a little bit. Fresh gasoline. It's Tiny probably moved that mower. Got a mower that, if you look at it funny, it leaks gasoline. There's a lot of Hodge with our Podge here. It's sometimes difficult to tell. There you go. Jinxie! Okay. It's sometimes difficult to tell what my dad was using and what he was working on to fix. So James is going to come running too. I'm going to pull one out because he probably will. Jinx just had a bath today. This guy. Yeah. There you go. Okay, you got your cookie. Janus. No? Okay. can drive someone. He's actually gotten to the point where he hears the plastic wrappers and hop frogs his way over to where the cookies happen. I know. Tanner, I'm the one with COPD. What's going on? Scrap, you already had yours. Go. I think I have all. Yep. Ah, my thumb's gone. For a little guy, he leaps really well. Started working on priming these guys. Oh. Typically with primer, hopefully this is this, that kind of thing. I'll find out later when I paint. Typically it's not going to necessarily completely cover the original color. Now Janus emerges. But you want it to have that like chalk-like feeling, which it does, because that should really grab the new paint. And I've got them in a plastic shoebox, the parts that I painted. Okay, you're just going to lay there and look at me adoringly. That guy right there. How you doing, bud? Yeah? You good? Okay. Despite the fact that that cat has 3 legs, you are not watching AI. Long story. I'm sure some people are tired of me telling it. But trying to get the bases primed. I did pull the feet off because I did a size check. It is flush. It will, well, actually the outside is raised just a little bit. There's a little bit of lip there. But some of them popped out successfully. Some of them left a little something behind. And that's okay. I think I have quite a few of these on the way at this point. I know I have more rights than lefts, but I think I'm going to wind up having like 5 rights and 4 lefts, I think, because of various lots that I picked up. Not all here yet, but they're on the way. Well, some of them. You get it. So some of them will be set in this format, and I may even though I'm not going to be using the lefts, I'm going to have 3 rights in the lounge. I may actually do 3 of the lefts with the same paint format, just in case at some point I want to do like a diner or something like that, because these are basically booth seats. Not boots and cats. It's different. That way they were painted the same colors at the same time, and I won't be going through issues of color matching that makes it really obvious. Because even if I use the same paint, if I do these and then a year later do the others, there may be fade to where it's going to be very obvious they weren't painted at the same time. At least that's my thought process there. Health check. Anxiety, but I feel okay. Like physically, A little bit of the chest tightness thing going on, but again, I'm not trying to will something to happen to my dad. I just feel like something will happen to my dad. Just got that feeling. I'm going to get that phone call. Making sure I'm getting basically the lip to the raised area, because that may be visible-ish. So far this primer seems pretty decent. A little bit goes a long way, which is good. I've dealt with some primers where you have to use a huge amount, and it's like, you know, you do a little piece and it seems like you used, you know, a fourth of the bottle. And you're like, oh man. I'm going to need to buy a case just to finish the one set. How is that fair? And I've got some top coat on the way too. Looked at Amazon because I'm like, you know what, I'm going to want a way to seal this too once I actually get it painted. And I've never used this brand before, and I don't remember what it was. Apologies. When it gets here, you know, I'll show you. But so it was a 2-pack. I think they're like 6 or 8 ounce bottles. That's an 8-ounce bottle that I'm dealing with right now. That's what I prefer to get, just because you're guaranteed to pretty much get the job done. There's enough there to work with. Usually, you know, as long as the coverage is good. But it was a 2-pack, and it was a satin and a matte, which is fantastic. Because, you know, it gives you that extra different finish types. I was looking around, and it was like $16 for the 2-pack, and a lot of the other brands, and some of them I'd worked with before, and they were good. Hopefully, this one had good reviews, so hopefully I'm not being suckered. But a lot of because I knew I was going to want a gloss of some sort and a matte of some sort. The satin will work, you know. Most of the individual bottles, same size, for like $10. So I'm like, well, I can do a 2-pack for 16, or I can mix and match, because it seemed like no one company had both a gloss and a matte online. Weird, right? Like, I can mix and match and spend over 20, or I can get 16 and get a little bit of consistency. And if they work great, I'll, you know, get more. Just kind of bookmark it as long as they keep selling it. So that's many steps from now, but I figured I'd want to have it on hand, because once I do a section, I'm going to be able to lock it in, just because it's kind of smart to do that. But yeah, somehow on the Roku we're back on Tom Baker. It's weird, we went from, I think, Tom Baker to Peter Davis, and then back to Tom Baker again. It's just weird, because they normally, like, they'll go forward, you know, Tom Baker to Peter Davis, and then go to Colin Baker and some Sylvester McCoy. Then we'll go back to one, you know. It's like they suddenly hit it in reverse. Not world-shattering news there, but, you know, an oddity. Sort of a space oddity. Now I want to listen to Bowie. Seeing more and more interesting stuff coming out. No real new information, but regarding the situations in Minneapolis, more and more people seem to be getting angry about it, which I think is good, because that's worth being angry about. What happened there was not righteous. was not. Yeah. I would say that is the opposite of righteous. This is giving a pretty good texture, I think. I haven't tried painting on it yet, but I have, having done this before, I have a good feeling about what I'm feeling. Very textured for, you know, basic plastic furniture, so it's creating little nooks and crannies where there was bright pink showing through. And in the grand scheme, that probably wouldn't be that big a deal, but I'm trying to be thorough with the coat too, so. Anxious to get painting, but gotta take the right steps first to make sure the end product looks good. Get in there. There we go. Didn't mean to scare you. I moved my leg and Janice went. It's okay, pal. Be cool. We're getting there. I've been up a little while. Did some coffee. I've actually got hot water in the pot right now. I just filtered. So that's the backrest area. We'll make some fresh coffee here in a sec. I did the Entenmann's vanilla last night before I went to bed, because I went back down. I think I mentioned this. I went back down to nap because I was trying to get my schedule back on track, and just kind of that moment of, you know what, if I were to sleep now, if I were to get like 4 or 5 hours, that would reset me, and I could take a 4 or 5 hour nap and feel better and okay with my life choices. So that's what I did. That's good stuff. Yeah. Oh boy, went too far. A little too deep. Like things I don't want to hear from a surgeon for 600, please. Yeah, this is a little bit easier than the base. The base has all those like little raised diamonds, moons, green horseshoes. All very Lucky Charms. This has got a little bit of texturing, but it's not crazy. You can kind of see it's got like a couple of wavy lines. get this to a good place. Just going to do part of the top here. Not going to get crazy. And I'm going to start checking off some more things from the last time. Did some laundry. So hopefully the washer's good. I can do the floor towels, which somebody's been using as a litter box as well. I get it. The litter robots are scary and new. I get it. Considering his state of affairs, I can't get exactly too mad at him. And he's being uniform and using those. It's not like he's being creative out there. Which is good, because trying to sort and go through out there, the last thing I need is to find, you know, a surprise litter box in a corner or something. He comes up front and goes on the towels. Okay. Is it the answer that I want? No. Are there worse answers? Yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of worse answers. Like, just about any other answer out there actually is a bad answer. So, for the moment, you keep doing what you're doing, buddy. Maybe eventually I'll get a robot out there, if that's going to be his hidey hole. And eventually it's going to be more organized, and it's going to be less hidey hole and more storage that's functional and doesn't look like a flea market vomited on it. So I don't know what your life choices will be then, but we'll get him into the swing of the whole. So we've got ramps on both the robots now. So far, all that's happening with the ramps are Kaiser not necessarily aiming great, standing in the doorway of the litter robot instead of actually going into the bowels of the litter robot. Maybe that's the wrong word to use, I don't know. But standing in the doorway and then firing his cannon onto basically the ramp and or the threshold. Why does he do this? We don't know. Is it because he's older and that's just how it's going to be? That's the running theory. Do we not like him as much when he does this? Yes. Yes, that is also true. That guy can clear a room. It is masking for a bright pink, that is masking it pretty well. I mean, yes, I'm going to be doing like a lighter pink on top of this, but it should. The big problem is when you're doing a light color on top of what was a dark base. Especially if you haven't primed, that really does not always work out well. Rogue fur. That might be mine, actually. Thank you. Get off me. Sorry, I was remembering something that I improvised in Rocky. Not going to do that here. If you know, you know. Gotta laugh. That's all I cared about. Exactly. Yeah, I need to do my laundry. I need to do the towels. Got like 3 sets of towels. We rotate them out. As long as it's leaking water out there, it's kind of what we're going to deal with. Eventually we'll get we have an amazing washer and dryer at George. But they're at George. Eventually we'll get the appliances that work from our house here to replace the ones that do not work. We'll have an extra fridge and a freezer, and actually 2 freezers, because we've got a chest freezer that's pretty great and an upright, which, if you are attempting to take advantage of sales and things like that, I cannot advise enough, if you actually are even remotely a carnivore, because meat is one of the things that you want to be able to stockpile in said freezer situation. Getting a good chest freezer or an upright, they're usually not that pricey in the grand scheme of things, and it opens up possibilities for you in the respect of when somebody runs a really good sale, you're not saying to yourself, hey, I'd love to grab those hams at 99 cents a pound, but even if I got them home, I'd have nowhere to put them. Having a big freezer is just, like old guy wisdom. Having a big freezer is a huge benefit in that respect, because that problem goes away, and you can put 3 of those oinkers in the cart, knowing that I can store these. Hearing things kind of getting roughed up over there, and I look over and Jane just is looking at me. Okay, is that your innocent look? Okay. Alright. So yeah, I went to bed, and I think Black Orchid was on, which, rather odd Peter Davison episode. Neat, but rather odd. And I woke up to the Sunmakers, which is Tom Baker and Leela. And I was okay with who I was looking at, but also going backward. Inconceivable. I separated Pixie's chicken, already did the bag thing with that. Working my list. Figured taking a break with you guys would be a good excuse to pull this out and do a little bit here. It's just like everything else, this is kind of a one brick thing, One more piece of it. Exactly. I got to go through my paints too and figure out which paints I'm using. May not have a huge selection, and because I'm doing several pieces and not just one, I don't want to mix my own, because I may not be able to make the blend consistent. You know what I mean? I'm not sitting down doing it all in one sitting, so I want to use actual solid color from the bottle, not getting too creative. So my choices will be limited, but the sets that I have over there should be workable. So, wrap this up though. Keep expecting to hear Tiny coming. There is tote cleaning. We found a gazillion totes in various conditions around here. Some of them are pretty nasty, so we've been washing them. Got cardboard all over the master bedroom on the floor, basically because we've got cardboard, using it as like a drying mat. trying to, if they're functional, we'll use them. Some of them are pretty nasty and grimy though. So, we'll go ahead and call it here. Anyway, you know the drill. Work your list. Hug your parents, hug your kids. Can't mask it very well. Make it a great day.